I want to explain how I found my dead zone in Apex. So I'm gonna try and do this. I don't know if it's gonna go well. It's difficult to explain. I know what I'm doing though. Like it's a physical sensation on the controller that I'm trying to find. I'm trying to have the game respond to the fact that I'm moving my right stick once the metal rod of my right stick begins to push the plastic tube that the metal rod is inside of. My right stick is consisted of a metal rod inside of a large plastic tube. If I set my dead zone too low, I can manipulate the metal rod inside of the plastic tube. And then this creates the sensation of having more control. But as I move my stick, as I manipulate the metal rod and hit the plastic tube, my speed will slow down. My input will, the speed of my input, the strength of my input will fluctuate once I hit the plastic tube. That is not good. So I need to set it to the position where the game is responding to me pushing the plastic tube. That way my input is always smooth. The way I did this in Apex was by going to 11 curve, by going all the way up here, and then messing with the dead zone and just seeing when the game responds. It's all about when the game responds, not how the game responds, but when the game responds. At the highest 5 on PS5 with a PS5 controller, the game is responding as I am pushing the plastic tube. No matter what my response curve is, this position where it is responding stays the same. As I change my response curve, the only thing that changes is the strength of my initial input and how fast I move beyond my initial input. The PS5 dead zone in Apex Legends is the highest 5. I'll go back down to what I've been testing, and then I guess I'll just show myself setting it to the highest 5. So I go to 0. This is default 0. I increase it to default 5. Default 5 is too low. It allows me to manipulate the metal rod inside of the plastic tube, so it is bad. It will jump and then it will feel like it slows down, creating the sensation of being constricted within the center of the screen. I can move freely for like a short duration and then it slows down and it creates the sensation of a circle in the middle of my screen where my speed is fluctuating. And I basically only want to stay inside of this because this is where it feels smooth, and then as I go past it, it gets slow and it feels weird. I'm at default 5. I'm increasing it to the second highest 5. And then if I increase it one more time, it will turn into the highest 5. This is the highest 5. If I increase it again, it will turn into the lowest 6. And if I decrease the lowest 6 to 1, it will be the lowest 1%. This 5 right here, the highest 5, turns into the highest 0. There are 3 zeros now. Default 5 goes to default 0. Second highest 5 goes to what? Middle 0. And then highest 5 goes to highest 0. If I go to the lowest 6, it'll turn into the lowest 1. I really don't like clicking on the screen though. This is so difficult. It feels like I am trying to thread a needle with chopsticks because the dead zone is too large on my left stick in order to navigate this menu correctly. Whatever, I'm at the highest 5. The rest of this doesn't matter to the dead zone. It's a physical sensation on your PS5 controller. It's a physical sensation on your controller. You need to find the position where you can no longer manipulate the metal rod inside of the plastic tube, and the game only responds to the fact that you are moving the plastic tube. If you ever feel like you can move and manipulate the metal rod while playing at 11 curve, your dead zone is too low. The highest 5 feels as smooth as the lowest 1. When I go to the lowest 1, what ends up happening is that area where I feel like I'm constricted at default 5 basically gets expanded to a further distance because I'm able to manipulate the metal rod smoothly within a larger range of motion on the screen, but it still changes speed at a certain spot. If I set my dead zone too far, it basically feels like my input is being crunched, but it's really difficult to explain that. So whatever I have said so far is all that matters.